My chin's alright. I took a hit at the end of the game. I think it's bleeding still, but it is what it is. I'll go get treatment tomorrow, and I'll be fine.
What changed in the fourth
quarter? What changed in the fourth quarter was that just our mentality of just going out trying to make big time plays. I felt like we came out really flat in the first half. Unfortunately we had that FOMO on the first drive, but things like that are gonna happen. So we just have to bounce back from stuff like that and just can't come flat. The defense played really well. It's hard for them to stay on the field and the offense going 3 and out. So I'm definitely proud of the way the team fought tonight to the end. Obviously we came up short, but there's some good things and bad things from this game, and we just gotta learn from it and move on.
Do you think this one just came down to just a lot of unforced errors, a lot of flags, a lot of penalties? That's what pretty much tilted this game.
Yeah, tonight, we definitely, kind of beat ourselves tonight with, those penalties that we had. Those definitely hurt us. Starting 1st and 15 on your opening drive, it definitely, it's a momentum killer, and that's something that we need to clean up. Starting from practice, just being more fluid and fundamentally sound and not making those big time mistakes.
Anytime fourth quarter, was there anything? What do you think changed? What was the big thing to get that momentum going?
Fourth quarter, I felt like we just calmed down as an offense. We just focused on doing our job. Coach Demo, our special team coach, preaches doing your 111th, and that's something that we did in the fourth quarter. But obviously, it was a little too late. We came up short. We need to start doing that at the beginning of the game. And we came out firing in the second half, but it was a little too short to come back from such a deficit. But like I said, I'm proud of the team. I'm proud of the way they fought. And that's something with us that, no matter what the score is, we'll never stop fighting because we just got big hearts like that.
How did you stay encouraged after the first 3 quarters? Because offensively, they weren't going as smooth as they should have been.
As a leader, as a quarterback of the team, no matter what's going on, no matter if good things are happening or bad things happen, you have to stay positive. No one does well in a negative environment, and that's something that I truly believe. It's just always giving out positive vibes for my teammates. And just going to them and just picking them up and saying we're going to be fine. So that's one thing that I definitely learned, especially as being a leader, is just giving out positive vibes because everyone thrives from that. No one does good in a negative environment. So just staying positive, staying up, and just telling the boys to continue to believe.
After that first drive where you guys gained a lot of yards before the fumble, coach said that you guys scripted the first 12 plays, and that was why it was so successful. Talk about that.
Oh, well, going into every game, we have a first 12 plays, on the left hash, on the right hash, It's just something that we game plan throughout the week. But most of the time, we don't go through a full 12 plays. It'll probably just be like maybe 2 or 3, depending on, the where we are on the field and stuff like that. But, those first plays that we came out in the game, we definitely did a good job. Everyone was on their cues of just, handling their assignments, and we played assignment football, and we definitely marched down really well. But like I said, we had that fumble, but things like that are going to happen. We just need to bounce back from that and handle adversity.
How discouraging were those penalties in the first half when you're trying to get a rhythm going offensively?
Anytime you get penalties, it's obviously a momentum killer, and also it's just something hard to deal with. But that's out of our hands. Our refs are going to make calls. But at the same time, we need to play better football, better assignment football, and just being smart what we do. Because those little penalties can come back to bite you, and that's obviously what happened tonight.
Thanks, guys.